Kronik Noise Promotions, Rick Hall.
Yes, sir.
Uncle Rick, a.k.a. I guess. Eh?
Yeah, man.
AKA, yep.
Yeah.
Rick is here from his channel. If you guys haven't checked it out, you got to get over there and check it out. Kronik Noise Promotions.
That's right, man. Get over there, hit that subscribe button.
All the
for 'em.
socials, YouTube would be most appreciated. So I got to get on my fucking phone and run around and do my my yelling and screaming, and rather than sitting at a house and feeling like I should be sitting on my thumbs because I don't know what to fucking do. But and I guess I might flip the table and say that I'm Uncle Rick from Kronik Noise, and we are chatting with a couple of the dudes from Ryfield Studios.
All that is unholy.
And all that is unholy.
Yes, sir.
And believe it or not, I was having a brain fart on the unholy. I was like, all that is risen, all that is dead.
All that is holy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're kind of doing a back and forth interview.
Man.
Should be fun.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. I will ask right off the bat, all that is unholy, where did that come from? Like, it could almost
hilarious.
sound biblical,
Yeah.
but I'm going to guess it's not.
Well,
Do you remember? I think we said it. So we
Somebody take a shit, and
That's
the next person walked in and went, "Oh my fuck!"
pretty much
That is something that is unholy.
that's exactly how it went.
in the group chat. I don't know if it was Parker, but somebody was like, we were drinking Guinness or whatever.
A whole bunch of us were together playing, jamming, drinking. Everybody, left in the morning. Everybody got home hungover. And somebody took a shit and was like, I just shit something that, I just shit all that is unholy or something.
Yeah.
And then
Somebody's like, that's our band name, ha ha ha. And then it
Stupid.
fucking was. And we're like, I guess.
yeah.
I can't
sticking with
remember
it.
how many times as a young player that it seemed more important to have a band name and what our first album was going to look like how our name would be and everything, before we even had a bag full of songs.
Right.
Like we could play 2 songs and a cover song or something like that, and we were all about hey, we
Gotta
just played
have the
Tanya's
logo.
birthday, and now we're fucking rocking out, and our name's going to be like this, and our first album's going to be called, and it's just like I just cringe and laugh at the same time hard at that, because then I hear about bands who have been together for a little while. How long were you guys together before? Nameless, we'll say.
The band that we are now?
Yeah.
Just a few months, I guess, eh?
And then that name kind of fell into your lap, per se.
It was after we had everybody, though, right? Because we started, like, me, you, and Parker, and then we got Mikey in the picture, and then Andrew came.
Yeah, that's when, like, the heavy drinking nights started.
It's funny to me to hear that before that it wasn't already decided, like, okay, it's going to be Bolt Blaster. That's what we're called. So as those other 2 guys come walk in, they go, you're now auditioning for Bolt Blaster or whatever. But you guys didn't even give a fuck.
No,
and don't ask me where that came from.
We didn't have a name. We didn't have,
You just knew what you wanted to do, like what the feeling
we
needed to feel like?
We had an ad out on Kijiji, and all it said was, a bass player for heavy metal, because we didn't know what type of metal we wanted to play.
Right.
It was originally
vocalist
6-string.
for heavy metal, because we didn't know. Right.
Yep.
Did you have any other vocalists? I'm just curious that came in, because often that
few,
decides how a sound is going to go.
Yeah.
Clean vocals,
It did.
harsh vocals,
Which
highs,
is
lows, whatever.
Is what happened.
It honestly really did.
Did we? We didn't actually have any auditions for vocalists. We
We
had a
had-
few people reply.
Message and kind of hit us up and seem interested or whatever. And it was like one guy was kind of like into power metal and stuff, which we knew we weren't.
Yeah.
We knew we didn't want to go that way.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Nothing wrong with it, but
no. I was
we
going to
were
say
like, nah,
there's
that's
a
not us.
there's a whole necessary ball of respect there in that he's looking, he checks you guys out.
Sure.
You're
Yeah.
looking, you check him out.
Exactly.
No, it's not what we're looking for. No, it's not what I'm looking
kinda
for.
shake hands and
so
part
you have to
ways.
basically say, hey, thanks. That's like going to buy a car and it's right away. That's not
right.
what you're
Yeah,
looking for.
yeah,
So you back away and say thanks for the offer
Yeah,
and hope
exactly.
you do well getting somebody. Or even
And
at that point, I'm the kind of guy where I'd be like, I wouldn't do it,
man.
but I got a guy who's got a, you know what I mean, who's got a voice or whatever. I like trying to, I think that's what I like about promoting. I always like that if I can't help somebody out right away, often bands will write and go, Rick, really looking to get into Guelph, blah, 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 date. Anytime would be great. And I'm like, fuck, I know what I got coming up. I'm pretty busy. If you guys were asking for a June show or something like that, I'd be like, my May, June, July is full already.
Yeah, right.
So without not calling them back, which is the dick promoter move to make, not writing a band back and at least acknowledging. I'm surprised by how many bands go, thanks so much for the reply. And I'm isn't that what human beings do?
Yeah.
But I guess it's a business
Not a lot of people do.
and I mean, let's face it, if I'm booking big bands, I'm not answering all the little guys, but you should, because those are the bands that A, might be the big guys tomorrow, and B, you need them to open a show at the very least.
Exactly.
Well, like when we started, I was messaging bands on Facebook Messenger, like trying to get bands onto our show. And I would have, say I'd message 30 bands in a night. 10 of them would see it. 3 of them would actually respond, and the other ones, eventually would see it over a week, and nobody actually gets back to you.
Yeah. I've had the same thing where I've literally said, I'll put your stuff on if you got a video or anything, I got 2 Kronik Noise pages. One's Kronik Noise Promotions, one is Kronik Noise Group.
Yeah.
And if you go on Kronik Noise Group, it's open where you don't have to ask permission. You can put a video,
upload anything.
You can write, hey, looking for a bass player, or like whatever. And bands don't utilize that, but yet they'll go and they'll put their new video on my Rick Hall page that I post. Took my wife out for Mother's Day today or whatever. Yeah. It's like, dude, scroll down a little bit and tell me if you see any music stuff. Is that the way to piggyback or to hop on? Like, I'm a promoter. I'm going that way anyway.
Yeah.
So normally I would say hop in.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're not hopping up in the front seat with me and my wife. You're getting the fucking back where the music courses are.
Dude.
No, I'm being a jerk, but you know what?
That's hilarious.
You know what I mean? Like, it's and if I'm in the band, I'd be glad. Oh, dude, fuck, I'll hang on to the tailgate. Like, what? You just tell me where you want me to go.
Yeah,
if you try to go on a Kronik Noise page, I'm not sure right away that it lets you post something. But I think if I'm a DIYer in a band, I'll find that out pretty clearly. What it allows me to do and what it doesn't. And then if you're a smart guy, you'll do just what a fella did the other day. Won't mention a name. He'll like on a couple of things and then send a friend request, and then right away. And I know I've heard people online say they hate this. What other way are you supposed to go? I friend him because I look and I see, he's so and so, the guitar player, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So right away I get a message. Okay, here it is. Hey, Unkle Rick, respectfully, we're from blah 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 blah. Here's a link to our songs. Looking for shows to get out of the GTA. Yada yada. That's thumbs up. Yeah. That's perfect. Everybody's like, fuck, if I get one more of those things, I don't know. Maybe you're not a promoter. Maybe you're jaded. Yeah. Maybe you're not. I don't know. I'm not in this.
I would love that shit, man.
Yeah, me too. The day that I started getting bands writing me, asking me to, and I make a clear division between you're the man, but I mean, it felt so good that your band would write me asking my opinion of, could you give us a show, or could you tell me what you think of our music? You're the fucking artist. You're asking a pedestrian to just go, it would mean a lot if you'd let us know. I'll like it so much that I'll go, dude, let me fucking show other people this. Yeah. And I'm not sure whether, like, my wife goes, honey, I think you're a little more excited about music than most people. And I'm like, well, I almost...
How are people not this excited?
Yeah, like how... Okay, so tell me how to get them excited then. Tell me how, we've tried free shows.
I think we have a lot more in common than we think, Rick.
We
have the same feelings. Like, what?
It's why I'm sitting here right now, to be honest. Like, so you said yourself, Ryfield Studios, say yesteryear was unknown. Right. So you get this studio together, simultaneously you've got a band. So if you haven't already figured it out, if your band wants to be recorded, if you want to do a video, if you want to be part of a future event that goes on here, if you want to just be connected to the scene, check out Ryfield Studios. But this is how exactly it works. Whenever we talked before we turned the cameras on, and whenever I get backstage or get pre-show messages that insinuate, okay, so we'll probably be sitting in the van for most of the time, so the catering you talked about, can we just have that brought out to us? And I'm like, what the fuck? Am I booking, Kill Switch Engage or something like that?
Catering.
Because I've just, and even if I said, hey, we're making chili and we're going to have, make sure you get there for some chili and buns and stuff the wife are making. And that's went a long way. We made the Contortionist and fucking quite a few bands chili and they rave about it. Like how they'll get pizza, or a buyout, but nowhere do they ever get lasagna and fucking buns and, and I'm like,
they're going on stage all full.
I said, to be honest, it was half me being cheap because $200 fucking food buyout. Fuck that. Fuck. And they go, yeah, man, we would rather now. We can't wait to come back. This is like family. Yeah. And that was part of the mark I made as something so small that I wouldn't have thought. And when it all comes around as to why you just said we're more alike is because there's a definite line between those that are trying to get something out of it and use you and me as or your fellow person as a stepping stone. I want to use you guys too, but I want you to fully use me.
That's right.
I want to reciprocate. I want to have it. If it's not what's the word? Symbiotic, where if you're not getting something and I'm not getting something, unless one of us go, hey man, I'm backing out, but I'll still promote you guys. But I mean, in all due respect, it's a business like everything else where unless you're in that as a listener, a music connoisseur, or even in a band, you're not appreciating what we're saying. And out there is just so much me, and bands that will throw a like on something, or I'll give them a show. They're all about hounding me for a show, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck, they wanted to play, and people know them. Click. I go, yeah, hey man, if you guys want that show, sweet. All I've done in the past, when I think about it, was that they just put a little checkbox on Guelph, and they'd never make a post about it a month up to the whole show. And then all of a sudden, a lot of times I'll get a call the day before or the day of and go, hey man, our bass player's sick and we're just not going to be able to make it. And I go, well, fuck a bass player, and I always say it jokingly, but in fact, I've had many shows go on where they go, hey, we can play without the bassist if you don't mind. And I'm like, no, do it. If you can do it and sell it, do it. So I'll go, fuck that, let them, and they'll go, yeah, no, we really can't. And I go, okay, but you guys were going to be at the show anyway, so I'll still see you out supporting, right? Hum ha, yeah. Right. Well, we'll see. Like a lot of it, we got to work tomorrow, and it's like, check. For future reference, I'm not anything. I'm fuck all. I'm just an old man loving metal music. But I'm not stupid either. I don't need to. There's so much talent out there in the world, and specifically in Ontario that you guys are now seeing. Like you said, every band that comes in front of you, you're like, how does the world not know you guys already? So. With that said, it just goes to show you that we're literally on the ground floor seeing brand new talent, as well as you guys are brand new talent as All It Is Unholy. That's kind of ironic because
I don't know about talent, but
well, I use the term loosely because I know that a lot of people I work with, in fact, 98% of them would say, and they'd listen to it and go, all right, but that's like chainsaws with dogs barking over top of it. And I'm like, awesome. Okay, I love that album. But I mean, my own brother will go, musically, I love almost everything on your Metal Mondays, but he's a country fan. And I go, yeah, I know, you hate that stuff. And then he'll inbox me and go, bro, don't make me look like a dick. Like, I love the music, but when the guy starts singing, I'm sorry, that's a deal breaker for me. I'm a Garth Brooks guy. And I mean, part of me's like... and the other part of me is total respect. Like I fucking totally understand that.
I was like that a few years ago. Like I never got it, but I don't know.
I think like 80% of it, right? Everybody likes the music and everything. Oh, it's chuggy. It sounds good, whatever. And then it is always the lyric or the vocalist that comes in a little too.
I can hear.
I love it. I love it.
I can hear the guys at work. They're like, I mean. I can go Slipknot or Five Finger Death Punch or whatever.
Pantera, right?
Yeah, right. Pantera or whatever. Yeah. But I said, that stuff's been sold to you already. That's like our new classic rock or classic heavy rock. Yeah. Try the new stuff and you'll be on the front. You'll be front and center for what the next wave of classic rock is going to be all about. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there's a day, if it's not already considered classic rock, where Metallica and Megadeth is that classic rock these days or classic metal or what?
I would say
any kind of
a classic metal or like on Spotify?
'Cause I remember
essential metal.
I remember
it's
all
all
sorts of
essential
people
metal.
hearing Metallica with all that rah, and all that kind of stuff. They're like, no, this is not. That's screaming. I can't. I'm not going for those shenanigans. And right there, I told my wife today. That's where I knew which split in the road to take. As a whatever year old I was at that time. Let me understand this. You're not going any heavier than, say, Nickelback or Chevelle or 3 Days Grace, which respect to all of
I
that
love
stuff.
Chevelle. They're one of my favorites.
And you're liable to be staying pretty solidly with Bad Company and Queen, and which again, total awesome respect for all of those bands. But you're not willing to move forward. Like, you know what I mean?
That was the heaviest I would get until Ben kind of fucking kicked me through the door. Like, no, dude.
That's awesome that
this
someone
out.
literally tapped you on the shoulder per se, and
It was
you
just
didn't have to
sharing.
be forced. I guess it was kind of like, all right,
It was just sharing songs like, hey, check this out, or like, check the drum work out in this, and then he's listening to the drums. Meanwhile, it's like whatever. So he's now whatever.
I can almost fucking tune anything out except the drums and just
right.
Well, that's
right.
me with guitars, right? That's why I like a lot of that heavy shit. I have no fucking clue what they're saying, and I don't even really care. But it's just the sound of it. When gutturals over top of just that.
I got to say that back when I started promoting, which is like 2008 ish, it was pretty emo core and metal core, where there was some screaming, and there was that southern core, so it was a swaggery, dirty rock sound a lot that vocalists would do.
Right.
So a lot of that, like, I don't know if you know Malians and the Sons of Disaster, or like Kill Switch Engage, that has a clean and screaming
Kill
and
Switch. They're
all
one of my
that stuff.
favorites.
That was, like, to me, heavy enough, and people were going, "Oh, you got to listen to Goat Horror, and you got to listen to fucking Acacia Strain, and you got to listen to," and I listened to it, and right away I was like, the vocals are so hard. Is he saying words when he goes, did he say two sentences or one word, or
Once you
is
get
he
past-
saying the puppy is black or what? And then somebody said to me, "Stop looking at it like it's singing, because
I
it's
need to know
not
what he's
singing;
saying."
it's vocalizing.
Yeah.
So they're using their voice as an
instrument.
as an instrument.
Yeah.
And then that's where I started. Before we turned the cameras on, I was showing you Ending Tyranny.
Yeah, man.
And
Fucking
Callum
right.
from Ending Tyranny happened to be one of the guys where 80% of the time, if their music goes jo 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 jo, he's going rah, rah, rah,
He's kind of percussing
he barks
along with it.
percusses along with it like his own instrument, and will go high, will go low.
Sick.
And not to dwell on that, but somebody who sees it as more than just a squeal fest or plus the matter that even if you hate that,
Shout out
stand
to
up there and
Ending
try to
Tyranny.
do it. Stand up there and try to. There's just
It does take a whole, like, it is talent, man.
I
There's a
can't even
proper way to
imagine,
do it.
because I know that I'll choke myself out if
I
I
can't
try
do
to do a or some whatever. And that's
The
only
fry
pull.
scream.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah. The pull in is easier to do than to me the out. I don't know how some of these. There's a Japanese band called. Oh, that's the Joker. The singer looks a lot like that. A band called Deviloof.
Okay.
And yeah, Devil with OOF on the end of it. And they're just so heavy, and they've got that, you can see that Western, that American shine, where they've taken from what death metal bands have done, and they've shined it up and have themselves almost in a Motley Crue garb, where it's like spikes and everything's clean, and the
Leather
videos,
lace and
they're
shit.
dragging a body through the wilderness,
Right.
and his screams are otherworldly. They are literally just, we'll check it after this or whatever, but anyway, so I'm going to spark this and
Hell
give
yeah,
you guys some room to talk, because anybody that knows Unkle Rick knows that I'm a talker. So
Hey, man.
It makes an easy episode for us, you know?
Fucking right. Sometimes I just don't like talking. I like sitting here and listening.
I like sitting here and smoking and drinking, yeah.
And Rick just seems like a cool guy to sit here and listen to.
Well, I like talking music, and I find myself with my wife, if we were somewhere and there was the wives and other people around, my wife would be going, "Honey, come And I go, what? And she's going, those two guys look like they're going to fall asleep. And I go, yeah, but the one guy is fucking right in there with me. And not very often do I meet up with somebody who's like music. Yeah. And I'll mention some band and they'll go, oh, I know them. And I'll be like, oh, fuck, I can't walk away now.
Fucking right. You get into the deep combos, eh? I don't know. Let's go back to like Metal Mondays and stuff. We were talking about the show, like our show and Metal Mondays and stuff, and just kind of being that cheerleader, you know, that first step for bands to come out and sort of get onto that next step or whatever.
If you haven't checked it out, Rick's got Metal Mondays on his channel, Kronik Noise Promotions.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Streaming at 8 p.m. every Monday.
Yep.
When did you start that? Like, did you start that show because you thought there was a void in this area of exposure for that kind of?
Yeah. First of all, in a nutshell, the idea was Nick Weaver. You've heard me mention to him. My music partner. He has Gain Media in Guelph. Anything.
Shout out to Gain Media.
Anything that Kronik Noise does, Gain Media has got its hands in. If you were looking for any merch from Kronik Noise, you'd go to the Gain Media site. Literally, Nick is the man. And Nick basically said right away, we hear COVID's coming. We got a bunch of shows because at the time we were facilitating bands. We were the in-house bookers for Red Papaya in Guelph. Yep. So we had bands for this Friday, this Saturday, this Sunday, and whatever. And I was like, so if that happens, let me understand this. I know it's new to everybody, but everything's canceled? So, and he goes, yeah, I guess. Get a message from the Red Papaya. Hey, so we can't do any more shows. And I go, okay, so after the next one? No, there's no next one. March 6th that you had your show, that was the last one. And I went, oh, okay. So that was something that was new to us. Cut to, Nick and I are chatting back and forth. I'm like, if we can't do shows, like literally can't do shows, I can't have one in my backyard. You live in an apartment. Yeah. We're done. And he goes, yeah, I guess I'm trying to try to refigure or reimagine what Gain Media is going to be, because like I book different styles of bands, unlike Kronik Noise, who's usually just the heavy stuff. But still, where are they playing? Nobody's doing anything. Right. So we got talking, saying, well, bands still are together. Bands still have merch that costs them money. Bands still they're going to be writing and at least recording, hopefully. So in a nutshell, I did one show where it was a Monday night, and I went live on Facebook, and I go, hey, everybody, Unkle Rick, Metal Mondays, making Mondays better one fucking day at a time. The Boomtown Rats said they didn't like Mondays, but I fucking love them because I've had a good weekend, and I get out there, and I use that as my fucking ripper day, my starter day. So it's only from Tuesday and Wednesday. Fuck those days. But then Thursday I get my paycheck, and then fuck, boom, it's Friday. So I had that mentality, right? Nick says to me one day, hey, you know that Metal Mondays you did a couple weeks ago, why don't we look into that? And I go, and he goes, well, literally his words were, in lieu of live shows, like there's no live shows, so why don't we interview a band, or why don't we have a band come to your place or to Guelph, or you go to their jam space, even if it's with masks and distancing. And I went, but I'm kind of boomer-esque. How do we parlay that on? He goes, I'll help you get it on your socials. We tried Facebook for a while, and it was a real kind of, and they started fucking with my playlist. Spirit Box, they took off. Rush, they took off. Any band who was signed that's Canadian, I didn't have permission. And I'm like, then they started doing it to bands who I had permission. You could tell me yourself, all that is unholy says, Rick, no problem. But your lawyer didn't sign a paper at my lawyer's saying, you know what I mean? And I just said, you know what? Like, fuck Facebook for that. And it's a free forum. So I'm one of the few people who are going to put this Zuck down, because I've been riding on his fucking free coattails forever. And if all he knows is my address and my name and my rank and serial number, then he don't know any more than the police know. So come and get me. My old man used to say, you're not doing nothing wrong, you got nothing to worry about.
Exactly.
So cut to, let's try YouTube. Well, YouTube wouldn't let me use my phone unless I had 1,000 subscribers. So we said, okay, let's set up at home. Let's start getting bands to write in if they want to do an interview, if they want to. And same thing. It's a free forum. Sounds great, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 bands got into it. But most bands, they'd put out new songs. I would clearly write, or Nick would write and go, hey bands, Kronik Noise is actively looking for Metal Monday bands. That if you've got a new song, if you've got a new video and you want something out there, we'll rep it. We'll play it a few weeks in a row. We'll get you that, you know. Is that crickets I hear chirping? Yeah. And it's like, hold it. What words didn't you like? Free or support or you know? So and I should get the shirt say that I said years ago, you can lead a horse to the Evian, but you can't make him drink it. You know, like, I mean, I got good fucking water, yo. Take a sip. But they will, like, a few of you horses come up and it's like, what's that? Oh, hey, sip. Yeah, man, that's fucking, and we're reciprocating, right? Like us guys, Order and Entropy, Yoso. There's so many bands I could shout out right now that get it. And part of me looks at the Metal Monday comment screen and I'm like, he's a band member. Oh, my best friend, my other best friend, my brother. And there's been weeks where literally, if not every week, that I think I'm not doing it no more. Why? You know? Just and I don't mean to sound like get the violins out. I mean, I'm only a promoter to necessitate to fill a need. You know what I mean? You need bands, or you need to know new bands, or your venue needs bands to, or your city wants bands to see. I'll do that. I'll bring them. I know them. I'll be that liaison. But when it comes to at home, I know what it's like when somebody goes, oh, dude, check out my podcast. Okay. I don't. You know, just because, and I mean, I have checked out some of yours, but still not even, no lie, not to the entirety of it. It's something where here I am thinking 8 or 6 or 10, or I've had as many as 200 people on one show watching for whatever reason, because a band hyped the fuck out of it, and their friends and their friends. But as I say that and I'm ready to quit doing it, I think, most of those people, you guys are on, I don't know about you guys, but the other people that I named off, they're on for the whole show. If nothing else, they're logged on, even if they're watching the hockey game. And they're corresponding with me constantly. And to me, that's a 2 giant thumbs up.
Hell yeah.
Because I can't fucking bring myself to stay. I'm talking the talk and walking the walk, and I can't even watch a full podcast. I didn't watch my own full podcast with the Walk Show in Guelph. He's a great guy, does a great job, has really cool people on there, and I did mine, and I was like, oh, that's going to be fun. We did it. It was fun. I went driving home. I'm re-listening. Was it driving home? No, I guess it was a week later when he edited it and blah, blah. So anyway, I'm listening to it. I got about 15 minutes in, and I was like, I was there. Like, I'm not going to, I don't know. There's something about,
I feel the same way too. Like, with us.
Steph's like, did you watch your episode, your podcast? And I'm like, no.
It's because, man, it's
for all involved, it's a vehicle for those who may need it. So if it is boosting the person who's done the podcast, you know, or maybe it's boosting the podcast itself because of the name of the person who's done it, or maybe it's just a chance that was the first podcast I was ever on. So, you know, if a band says to me, hey, we're doing a video, would you like to be in the video? Sign me up, boss. Like, I'm fucking, I've done 3 or 4 videos. I did a misguided aggression before they were We Are Human. And it was a real cool Fight Club scenario.
Sweet.
So I'm in the background going, fight him, kill him. You know, like we're all standing around this. And it was just such a sweet thing to be in somebody's video that I can't understand how people don't jump at those. Again, my wife says, I think you get more excited than some people.
I get pretty excited about music now too.
Are you guys all that is unholy? I just realized that we are not talking about that enough. Are you guys, first of all, the inception of just doing the band, did that start with you guys?
Yeah, so Ben and I have played together for
tell me where that was. Did you come from other bands per se, or?
Well, we were just jamming in high school in like a cover band, right?
Yeah,
With Eric and everything.
Just, you know,
playing parties, just whatever.
Fucking around our whole lives.
What area? Brantford? Am I guessing?
Down in like Rodney, West Lorne area, like where we went to school and stuff.
Okay,
yeah.
Played at the bar in Dutton. Like that was one fucking place we got in a lot.
Yeah, goalpost. Yeah.
And then, you know, it just kind of was one of them things where I think maybe Shane and I were kind of let's write some tunes. But the other guys were like, yeah, let's just stick to the covers. And it just sort of, whatever, dwindled away kind of, right? And we're like, well, we don't have to stop. Like, we can still write tunes and stuff.
Ben was like, do you want to do some metal?
Yeah, and I knew a guy, like, Parker from work and stuff. So I was like, well, me and Parker get together and, we'll get the guitars out and just jam. And it's just heavy, chuggy shit, man.
Yeah.
Like,
how hard can it be?
Being,
telling him, like, I know a drummer, and telling you, like, I know another guitarist. And then it's sort of...
Yeah. And then I think that went back to, like, earlier we were talking about how we got the vocalist. We had our ad up on Kijiji, and then Andrew just kind of fucking...
Yeah.
He answered our Kijiji ad with, what kind of fucking metal are we talking about? And that was it. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the guy. Found him on Facebook, added him to our, like, group chat. We were shooting the shit with him for a couple days, then he came out. He heard us play, what was it, Deathfields?
I think it was Deathfields, probably still on the 6 strings.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, eh?
We used to just be like D standard, like just down a step.
Right.
But then I don't know why we got 7s, and then we dropped them down a step, so all the D riffs went down to A.
I'm having almost a deja vu of when Order and Entropy.
Yeah.
I said the first album, like when I go on their old site was just Entropy.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I went on their Entropy 519, I said all of the songs on there are like really good.
Yeah.
But they sound like a different band than this Mocha and Marlboro.
Yeah.
Fat Tax.
Fat Tax.
Yeah.
I said those 2 songs, and there might have been one other song. I said they sound like a different band, and I don't mean to sound like a dick when I say it. And right away they went, no, it's almost like a different band, because although it's the same guys, we went from, and again, I don't know my guitar
6 to
tunings,
8.
but they went from a 6-string to a 7-string, and different,
that's right,
a
7,
different
yeah.
tuning, and literally said that it was Chris Costa, bass player from Pro Sector, who kind of helped them make the segue over, the change over, and that musically, that's just what came out of that feeling of leaving that what they knew to what they were starting to adopt. So would that be kind of a similar thing to you guys, or
like,
did you notice much of a difference in how a song sounded or how it was? Anything about it? Because again, I'm not that guy.
I think it was mainly probably just like like that first initial, like stupid happy,
happy,
like bedroom happy, like, oh, you're playing all your riffs but way down in A, so you're just like, oh, chuggy as fuck, this is awesome,
right?
And then we just like stuck to it.
So there was just an automatic heaviness
and
that satiated what you need, like what you were
as
looking
a drummer not knowing anything about.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't change much for you. I mean, maybe
just the sonically, like everything sounding like heavy, and I'm
right.
Like,
but if something went boom, 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 it still doesn't matter how they riff it down. It's still boom, boom. It's still, that timing doesn't change of it. Like you said, the sonics maybe would change of it.
In the room, I was like, "There's a difference."
I'm gonna guess, because you guys are basically new-ish, is that it's a work in progress still, right?
Yeah,
like I mean,
definitely.
as you're writing, and I think that's something where, if anybody wonders why I work with a lot of new bands, is okay, there could be a lot of stinkers out there, but what I also get to enjoy is the new bands that are doing stuff where I'm like, oh, that's going to be so good once they realize
like
what they're, once they zone in on what they're doing, once they
hone in
because
on their craft
so many times, and I guess in retrospect it might sound like a backhanded answer to a band, but I've literally said, you guys, like what you lack in experience, like you've only played this as your first show or your second show, but the ideas that I hear and or let's say there's a new singer on a band, and I'll go, so all of that stuff you're singing the ex-singer's lyrics, right?
Almost
and
in a karaoke
he'll go,
fashion.
so it was kind of like his lyrics, his delivery, his pattern, and I said, then you know what? I'm amped for your next fucking album then. Not so much of what the band's going to bring me, but what they're obviously affected by you as the new singer. And I'm going to see what you as the new singer, whether you just copied what so-and-so did, or whether you went, oh, there's a blank canvas, I'm going to fucking do whatever I...
Get in there and change it.
Because to me, as a heavy singer, that'd almost be something where I would think, I wonder what they want. Let's say I had have answered the thing, and you go, "We're looking for a metal singer," and I go, "So do you mean metal like Motley Crue and Def Leppard, or do you mean metal like Slayer, Slipknot?" And
we were very vague.
Oh yeah, no. So then you write me back, and you go, "Yeah, more Slayer, Pantera, screaming." That
we listed off a bunch of our influences from like me, you, Parker, and then Andrew was kind of just like, "Yeah, I can fuck with that. Okay, I'll come out."
Yeah, he came out and we were jamming a tune, and was it Death Fields or something where, I don't know, in that song there's a nice break right after the intro.
Yeah.
Like 30 seconds in where he just lets out a nice...
Yeah, we should show Rick that one, because that one would be a fucking...
The first
little scream is what Andrew showed us when he first fucking came out.
Yeah.
And when we went to come back in all heavy again, we all fucked up.
Because it was so low.
And we just went to go restart, and he's like, "Oh, sorry guys, I fucked up." And we're like, "No, dude, that was sick.
That was perfect. It threw us
Do that again." And now we know what to expect, and now we know what type of fucking music we're writing. So
right. Well, that's like I said, that's exciting because it gives. Well, some people might be like, "Oh, well, fuck, they're noobs. They're brand new." There's, like I said, there's an excitement in that because who knows what you're going to bring. You've been in music for a long time, and you know what you like, and you know when you see it in other bands. So building your own machine is going to be kind of like a bunch of guys, a garage of guys that already know what they're doing, building a muscle car type of thing. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to add those things as you go along. And I'm sure, like many bands I've worked with, the first outing, for example, they think, "Oh man, nothing beats that," and then the next album they're like, "Oh, I cringe every time I hear that bass line," or whatever. And I'm like, "Yeah," because I mean, I cringe every time I re-listen to one of my shows, so I totally identify with we're our own worst critics at the very least. Should have done this. I could have done that. I wonder if I think the best advice I could give that I don't even follow is, and I try, is just get out and do your thing. Like just go out there and have fun.
That's exactly all I'm in.
Because if it's not fun, just like putting your kid in hockey, dude, don't fucking do it. Like life's too short to not try to achieve fun. And there's going to be stress and work and anguish and all sweat and blood and tears and all that, but it's got to be all for the love of the art of the thing.
Oh, absolutely.
I tell people, collect stamps, do fucking whatever you got to do to find that thing that fills you. And for me, it's music. I'll be talking to somebody, and all of a sudden they're talking and they're going, "Right, Rick." And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, man. There's a fucking song coming out of that other room, and it could even be just a fucking
me too.
Come,
dude.
my lady, come, my lady." Could be anything. I heard music, and my ear goes, "Huh?" Like
me too,
it
dude.
turns off to the side.
It's like ADD, but like a musical ADD, where someone's talking at you, but the elevator's playing a tune, and you're like, "What the fucking is that?"
It manifests in everything that you do, including music. Yeah, I don't know. I think music is one of the arts where it can be made quickly, or it can take you forever to write an album. And or bands can be quiet and methodical. And I know I've wrote bands and said, "Oh, based on that one or two songs, I need to fucking have you guys play a show." Oh, we're waiting until we get a handful we want to have at least 45 minutes set. We want to have our merch ready. We want to, and that used to just, I would turn my teeth into chalk hearing that from certain bands. But when that certain band came out and played, and one of them, honestly, because I've already shamelessly said them earlier, was Mandroid Echo Star. When they finally came out and played a show, I looked around. I started getting a cramp on my cheek because I was smiling. The place packed right from wall to wall. People bouncing, people getting it, people loving it. And I was just like, "Oh, their merch sold out." Nice. Everything was, and they were so right to be ready. And I just thought, "Oh, come on, get fucking 4.5, a cover song together and come out and play a show for me." And there's something to be said for that too. The beautiful thing about music, it can be either or. You can be that band that had to be so right that you had to turn down shows, or you can be a band like, hey, we know 3-ish songs, and we could play those 2 fucking Dead Kennedy songs, and then we got 5, and we could talk a lot or what. And it's like, okay, you're opening my show.
It's like a fear of not being good enough, though, right? Because I kind of get that, like, oh, we need this before we can.
You only have one chance to make a good first impression or something to that effect. So the do-over, you can't go, hold it, let us walk back in the room again and start that. So when your first show, you want everything the kinks to be ironed out. And honestly, like I've told my kids as a parent, that's part of growing up is stepping in shit. Make that mistake. Make it while you're young so you can make it a couple times and go, oh, that's that same shit I stepped in last time. And eventually you'll go around that shit. You know what I mean?
Our first show as All That Is Unholy coming up at Dundas and Sons, May 28th.
May 28th.
We're playing with Hexenclad, Working Girl, Worker and Parasite, and Order and Entropy.
That's
gonna be sick.
Extra love to my kids in Worker and Parasite, and to Order and Entropy, those 2 bands. I don't know the other bands, so respect and good luck on the show. But to Order and Entropy and Worker and Parasite, and to All That Is Unholy,
thanks.
I have the utmost respect because you guys are not only, you're hustling. Like I was telling you what it takes, like and what bands do, and the audacity of some bands thinking they could do this, that, and the other and get a show. And you guys, along with those bands that we just mentioned, don't wait for like oh yeah, we've been together 3 years, but we just don't know the scene. You jumped into the scene to the point where I, a fairly seasoned promoter in the area, thought, oh well, they must have just been underground for a year or two, when in fact you've been a few months, maybe a year if you count your first like rock show you put on here, and that was just like you got some gear, you had the space, you put on a show, right? But I mean,
literally it.
You guys as a band and doing recording with bands, and you said to me the F word earlier, free, which sometimes that you can't drag, push, or pull somebody into something if they don't want to be there. But I know that if somebody's offering me and my art form a free platform to either come and record or come check out and just see the environment and see what you could add to help support that, I don't know how else you get that full free. So just to point out that everything, and I guess I can go out on a limb and say that within reason, not my merch, not their overall gear, and you just walk out with it, but everything that you'll get at Ryefield Studios, everything you'll get at Kronik Noise Promotion, it's free. We're not looking for money. We're looking for reciprocation in music, whether that's support, whether that's support in that you're coming out to the next show and you buy these guys' t-shirt, or you join me on Metal Mondays and go, oh, fuck, I heard All That's Unholy on Metal Mondays, and where are they playing? And I go, it's funny you should ask that. They're playing May 28th in fucking London. And that whole... It starts off as I make a snowball. But if I'm at the top of a hill and I throw that snowball down the hill, if it gets enough momentum, we all know it's going to be a huge monster of a fucking ball. And that's what I want to see happen, because it's already happens in Ontario. And everybody I mentioned,
there's just so much that people need to hear.
From my motto of it on the side of Kronik Noise, I don't care about making money. This is my quote. I don't care about making money. I just don't want to lose money. That's really all it comes down to. I'm a Joe regular dude, flawed human being, and I've got my own budget. So if I can do what I do and help your band get to the very tip top of the mountain, I don't want 0 cents for it. Recognition in the book that's written down the road about how Uncle Rick was there in some way, shape, or form. But $1, I got a day job, thanks. And I love that about it. That's what keeps it pure and respectful to me, because
Have you ever helped anybody get to the tip top?
Android Echo Star won a Juno.
Well, that's fucking sweet.
Bands right now that I'm working with, Falsifier, I expect them to make it. Jupiter Hollow, I expect them to make it. And that's, I feel bad when I say that, because I think that people hear me say that and they go, oh, and All That Is Unholy is a fucking bag of shit. And no, I didn't say it's. again, name all the foods in the world and then ask me what my favorite 2 or 3 are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all I'm doing. Is saying, I love these guys. If it's Desert Island we're talking and I need a little bit of my soul every day, it's this, and this. But it's also Bob Marley, and it's also, don't be offended, it's not personal because I don't like your heavy stuff as much as their heavy stuff. There's certain things in life that, I fucking hate Turnip, but I would never say ban Turnip. I Turnip lovers unite and fucking everybody get together and, smoke you some turnip. Like, but no, honestly, like as long as we're all happy with the art that we make or / absorb, listen to, why tell somebody else what to listen to? Unless you're just trying to give them a heads up. People go, well, you tell people what to do by listening. And I go, but I'm not telling you go stick your finger in a light socket. I'm telling you go listen to if you haven't heard, if you're a music,
hey, check this out.
If you're Joe Music, listen to this. And I'll write a 4 or 5 band list to some youngster, 30 years old, 25 years old at work. And after a while, there's 2 kinds of guys. Hey, did you ever check out that music? 5 months later, hey, okay, forget it. You're not ever gonna.